Welcome back to the Ingram Angle. I'm Raymond Arroyo, sitting in for Laura. President Trump is gearing up for a fight with Congress over funding for a new border wall. With the migrant caravan knocking at our southern border, the president believes we need the wall now, and it couldn't be more apparent or urgent.
Is there going to be a government shutdown over this wall in December?
Could happen, yeah, over border security. The wall is just a part of border security, a very important part, probably the most important part. But could there be a shutdown? There certainly could, and it will be about border security, of which the wall is a part.
Is a shutdown looming? Here now to react is David Burstein, CEO and founder of Run for America and a progressive commentator, and Audrea Decker. She's a conservative commentator. Let me start with you, Audrea. Does the president have enough support in the GOP to get his border wall funding? He couldn't get it last time.
Right. Well, regardless of if he has the support or not, his job is to enforce the laws that are on the books. And the fact is we have borders in our nation. People can't just decide they're going to cross over without permission. And we need a system in America that is fair to the people waiting in line and to also the people that want to come over. So absolutely, he needs to do whatever he needs to secure the border.
Yeah, but the Republicans haven't joined him. There's this unity in the caucus. I want to play something for you, David. This is Congressman Pete King talking about this government shutdown and who it might hurt. Watch.
I strongly support funding the border wall, but I don't believe we should shut the government down. We have an obligation to keep the government going. And also politically, this would play into the hands of the Democrats. We'll get blamed for shutting down the government. The wall won't be built. The wall won't be funded, and we'll get the blame for it.
Won't this hurt Republicans?
I think if I were the Republicans, I would be worried about that, because the reality is people just voted for change. And what they really voted for is people voted for action. Shutting down the government is not what people are looking for. And being president, there's a responsibility to get more than one thing done at a time. And, you know, you may not get this priority on this go.
Well, it didn't hurt when Newt Gingrich did it years ago. I was covering the Capitol then, and they turned out pretty well. Where is Paul Ryan? Why not in his final act as Speaker? Right. And with this caucus, many of these people are leaving. Why not support the president in this promise he made to the American people? They got many of them elected the last time.
Well, that's the thing, is that the Republicans should be fighting for this, and they're not. And I think part of the reason why Trump has brought this up is that he's a great negotiator. And we know that he sometimes has to push the Republican Party to take action on important issues. And this is an issue that President Trump ran on and got elected on. So the American people do want to see this happen.
It's almost Christmas time. Let me run through the GOP lame duck wish list. These are the things they hope to accomplish. They have a lot to get done. They want to get a 10% tax cut. They want building the border wall, stopping birthright citizenship, cutting off U.S. and Central American nations' aid, and protecting pre-existing conditions. Will any of that get accomplished? David.
Well, I think maybe one or two of those things will get accomplished. It seems that people suddenly find their political energy in the last days when they suddenly, after their constituents have told them they no longer want them there.
I know, but they have 15 days, legislative days left for the Senate, 12 in the House. That's not an eternity.
I have to say it's amazing that there seemed to be 3 months where nobody could find anything to do except campaign, and now in the last 15 days of the year, suddenly there's a list of priorities.
We'll get it all done. Okay, the Democrats also have a lot to get to, Audrea. Here's what they're planning. They have put forward their own little wish list. It includes looking at President Trump's tax returns, his family business, Trump's dealing with Russia, the Stormy Daniels payment, and the James Comey firing. And there are more things coming by Ivanka's phone calls. This could go on for another 10 minutes. Your thoughts on what this will mean? Are we basically talking about gridlock?
Yeah, well, and I don't think this is beneficial for the Democratic Party either. Let's talk about the issues that Americans care about. Let's have a real discussion around the issues and the principles, and let's see where we fall on them. Let's have deals negotiated in Congress on behalf of the American people. Stop going after Trump. Put out your solutions and your policy ideas.
Okay, I'm going to turn to 2020. The Democratic contenders are beginning to emerge. As you know, former Vice President Joe Biden is at the top of that list, 33% of Democrats like him, according to that last CNN poll. And there you see the huge field. It looks like the Brady Bunch on Viagra. Right. Look at that. They've just exploded. Your thoughts? Who's going to take the lead here, David? Who's your man?
This is going to be a very, very tough race. And I had to look at anyone on that sheet. I saw a picture of The Rock. And so I think if The Rock runs, he's probably got his best shot. But I do think really this is a crowded field. And Democrats would actually do well to consolidate early and not let this be a repeat of 2016, where they end up in a situation with one person who's able to be the loudest, like President Trump was in his
people heard him,
who's able to kind of dominate everybody else.
46% of voters think President Trump will win again. 47% don't in that last CNN poll. Those are pretty good numbers. Who would you like to see the Dems run against Trump?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I think we should keep an eye on Senator Cory Booker and Senator Harris. Those are two interesting people. O'Rourke out of Texas raised a lot of money.
Yeah.
Interesting to keep an eye on him. But this election is going to come down to values. I think it's going to be about values. President Trump proved that. People voted for Trump not for his personality, but for the values. And so I think both sides are pretty divided right now.
I think it's going to become about competency and safety, given what we're doing and how this economy ends up. Before we go, I have to get your reactions to this. Liberal filmmaker Michael Moore, who just this summer called on people to put their bodies on the line to stop the president, well, he's now calling for the shunning of Trump supporters. Watch this.
First of all, it's hard. You can't build a bridge to a racist or a misogynist. You know, they have to be shunned and treated like we treated smokers 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Racist and misogynist shunned.
So all Trump supporters are basically racist and misogynist. They should be shunned. Audrea, your reaction?
Yeah, name calling doesn't help anything. We need to be able to have a conversation in America where both sides come together and maybe disagree with each other, but do it respectfully and with civility. And we don't need more of that in America. That kind of rhetoric is divisive and it's dangerous.
David, isn't this kind of silly? It reminded me of the attacks this week on a Charlie Brown Christmas, where people are now saying, critics are saying, you're a racist, Charlie Brown, because there's Franklin, the black friend, who's at the other side of the Thanksgiving table. I mean, this is really, isn't this too far? The use of race to demonize people, a whole swath of Americans.
Yes, I think we've gone too far. And at this time of year when everybody's coming together and celebrating the holidays, I hope people in Washington could find it in their hearts to say, let's work together.
Look at that.
And hear everybody's
David,
voice.
in the break, we're going to sing Kumbaya.